This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight now, we bring you a discussion on press conference of Drugs Controller General of India. The participants are Dr. Lieutenant General Ved Chaturvedi, health expert, and AIR correspondent Renu Kataria.
Drugs Controller General of India has given approval of emergency use of 2 vaccines. Let's hear the press conference that was held today and then discuss the subject with our health expert, Dr. Lieutenant General Ved Chaturvedi.
The Subject Expert Committee of Central Drug Standard Control Organization met on 1st and 2nd January 2021 and made recommendations in respect of proposal for restricted emergency approval of COVID-19 virus vaccine of Serum Institute of India and Messrs. Bharat Biotech as well as Phase 3 clinical trial of Messrs. Cadila Healthcare Limited. The Subject Expert Committee consists of domain knowledge experts from the field of pulmonology, immunology, microbiology, pharmacology, pediatrics, internal medicine, etc. Messrs. Serum Institute of India, Pune has presented a recombinant chimpanzee adenovirus vector Covishield encoding the SARS-CoV-2 spike S glycoprotein with technology transfer from AstraZeneca, Oxford University. The firm submitted safety, immunogenicity and efficacy data generated on 23,745 participants aged more than or equal to 18 years or older from overseas clinical studies. The overall vaccine efficacy was found to be 70.42%. Further, Messrs. Serum was granted permission to conduct Phase 2/Phase 3 clinical trial on 1,600 participants within the country. The firm also submitted the interim safety and immunogenicity data generated from this trial, and the data was found comparable with the data from overseas clinical studies. After detailed deliberations, Subject Expert Committee has recommended for the grant of permission for restricted use in emergency situation subject to certain regulatory conditions. The clinical trial ongoing within the country by the firm will continue. Messrs. Bharat Biotech has developed a whole virion inactivated coronavirus vaccine named Covaxin in collaboration with ICMR and National Institute of Virology, Pune, from where they received the virus seed strains. This vaccine is developed on ViroCell platform, which has well-established track record of safety and efficacy in the country and globally. The firm has generated safety and immunogenicity data in various animal species such as mice, rats, rabbits, Syrian hamster, and also conducted challenge studies on non-human primates, rhesus macaques, and hamsters. All this data has been shared by the firm with CDSCO. Phase 1 and Phase 2 clinical trials were conducted in approximately 800 subjects, and results have demonstrated that the vaccine is safe and provides a robust immune response. The Phase 3 efficacy trial was initiated in India in 25,800 volunteers, and till date approximately 22,500 participants have been vaccinated across the country, and the vaccine has been found to be safe as per the data available till date. The Subject Expert Committee has reviewed the data on safety and immunogenicity of the vaccine and recommended for grant of permission for restricted use in emergency situation in public interest as an abundant precaution in clinical trial mode to have more options for vaccination, especially in case of infection by mutant strain. The clinical trial ongoing within the country by the firm will continue. The Cadila Healthcare Limited has developed a novel coronavirus 2019 nCoV vaccine using DNA platform. The firm initiated Phase 1/Phase 2 clinical trial in India in more than 1,000 participants, which is ongoing. The interim data suggests that the vaccine is safe and immunogenic with 3 doses when administered intradermally. Accordingly, firm has sought permission to conduct further phase 3 clinical trial in 26,000 Indian participants, which has been recommended by subject expert committee. Messrs Serum and Messrs Bharat Biotech vaccines have to be administered in 2 doses. All the 3 vaccines have to be stored at 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. After adequate examination, the CDSCO has decided to accept the recommendations of the expert committee, and accordingly vaccines of Messrs Serum and Bharat Biotech are being approved for restricted use in emergency situation, and permission is being granted to Messrs Cadila Healthcare for conduct of phase 3 clinical trial in India. Thank you.
Doctor, today the DGCI said the Central Drug Standard Control Organization gave its approval, followed by the recommendation of the Subject Expert Committee that recommended both the vaccines for emergency use. It is a moment of great pride and honor to have approval to indigenously made vaccine in our fight against COVID-19. So my question is, how has the journey been for our scientists and innovators in these past few months? And another, taking our country one step closer to being Atmanirbhar.
Very important question actually. Not many Indians understand that we do talk about our poverty, we talk about so many things, but we must remember, as well as the medical science goes, we are world leader. The medical services in US and in UK, almost 60-70% are Indian doctors. As well as vaccination is concerned, we are also leader in manufacturing vaccine. Not only COVID vaccine, we have about 2 crore childbirth and all children need vaccination. So we have a very strong, robust vaccination program already in place. So as well as the vaccination delivery is concerned, we already have things are in place. Our target initially is to give about 3 crore frontline workers. Infrastructure is concerned, we have already Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute, they were already making vaccine in other field. Now coming to technology, the Oxford and AstraZeneca, this technology was taken by Serum Institute and they made this vaccine, which is a genetically modified virus, while the other vaccine by Bharat Biotech, it is an inactivated viral vaccine. One is called as COVAX and another is called as Covishield. So name is not important. What is important, that we could show the world that we can make the vaccine in time, almost shoulder to shoulder with the more developed nation. Even Prime Minister has tweeted, because it is something like Chandrayaan. I can tell you, any vaccine against any virus or bacteria, it takes a lot of time. So we could feel that during pandemic, we can do a fast track and we could produce safe and effective vaccine.
Doctor, how important will be immunization against COVID-19 with the vaccines now available, and how will immunization help in stopping the spread of the virus? Will we be immune to COVID-19 after the vaccine?
As we have made the vaccine, now coming to the efficacy of the vaccine, whether the vaccine is effective or not. That's why it took about 8-9 months, because phase 1 trial, phase 2 trial and phase 3 trial. We were lucky that Oxford and AstraZeneca vaccine had a very robust trial in Europe and they had a phase 3 trial completed. We also did in our country, and their phase 3 trial is complete, which shows that it is effective about 70 to 80%. So efficacy, any vaccine which is more than 50% effective in the medical science, it is considered a successful vaccine. Now what vaccine does? While the other vaccine, Bharat Biotech, Covaxin, it is still to complete the phase 3 trial, though phase 3 trial is being done, but it is not completed. but both got the approval of DGCI. So both can be used. Both vaccines are effective. That is number one. Both vaccines are about 60 to 70% effective, more than 50%. And first dose gives some immunity, and the second dose gives more booster to that immunity. What it does actually, suppose I give vaccine to someone, even if he gets infected, the first thing probably he may not develop any symptom. Even if he develops symptoms, the disease will not be that much virulent. So the mortality will be less. As long as the transmission of the disease is concerned, probably those kind of studies are yet to be done. So people say probably the transmission may not be stopped. But what I say, if your disease is less virulent, you will infect less number of people. So indirectly, the transmission will also be affected. So no doubt about it that individual protection is quite effective.
We were talking about dry run and trials. What were the challenges that were faced during the dry run, and how were the challenges identified? And what are the main challenges that lie ahead in administering the vaccines with our burgeoning population?
The huge 130 crore people has to be vaccinated. Initially, about 30 crore people, as our health minister was speaking, July or maximum till September, we expect that we must have a infrastructure to vaccinate about 30 crore people. So a good registration process is needed. As yesterday, AIIMS director was also telling, probably what will happen after we finish with the health workers, probably better strategy will be age-wise. Another challenge we'll face is the cold chain. In the far-flung area, we have issues regarding electricity. Sometimes the fridge does not work. Even the both vaccine require about 2 to 5 degrees. That is normal fridge. But even in a small village, to keep that temperature is not easy. So biggest issue will be cold chain. Safety won't be much issue. The reaction won't be much of the issue. The issue will be the cold chain and managing the numbers, because we have to train the vaccinators. So you can imagine the government of India has already trained about 90,000 vaccinators. We already have people, those who are trained for the children immunization program, but we have additionally required, because it's a huge task to vaccinate the 30 crore people in the first phase. So we require more and more vaccinator. Otherwise, the process is very simple, like any other vaccine.
Sir, what is the new UK mutant COVID strain, and how does the new variant cause more serious illness?
We have seen with the influenza. Influenza vaccine is already there in the market. Even we take every year. And every year there is a mutation of the influenza vaccine. But you must remember that the vaccine which Bharat Biotech and the Oxford vaccine, these are vaccines which are basically working in a very broad manner. Means even if there is some minor mutations of the virus, they'll be still affected. Unlike probably the RNA vaccine, which may not be. So as long as the mutations are concerned, efficacy of this vaccine will still be there, even if the virus is mutated. But suppose tomorrow there is another strain of the virus comes which is highly mutated, then probably the scientist has to think more about making a new vaccine against this virus. Minor mutations will go on. And it is not only with this virus. We have seen with mutations with the influenza virus and even with some bacteria like pneumococcal. So these variations, mutations are known in the medical science.
So with that, we come to the end of our discussion. Thank you so much for connecting with us, sir.
Thanks, Jen.
You were listening to a discussion on Press Conference of Drugs Controller General of India. The participants were Dr. Lieutenant General Ved Chaturvedi, health expert, and AIR correspondent Renu Kataria. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.